Welcome to the Cellblock Scorch, a weekly writing competition among my friend group, the Stella Corps. You may have noticed that funky little red and black star thing on the cover art. That is currently the Stella Corps logo, which boils down to a starburst shape with letters representing all of our members found therein. So we're Stella Corps, and you, as our captive audience, will be addressed as inmates on our cell block. So, we've been doing the Cellblock Scorch growing strong for nigh on 6 years now, and have an entire backlog saved up, so I proposed that we actually share all of that writing with you lovely people. I'm Bones, by the way, and I will be the main host for this podcast, so if you don't like me, then rip, I guess, but I will not be the only one recording, so I won't haunt you for long. We're releasing a second episode simultaneously that has all of our personal intros in it and a little brief rules overview if you don't want to wade through my rambling. So first, what is the Scorch? The basic setup is this. There are writers and there are judges. Every week, the judge gives a prompt and all the writers in their group write for that prompt. At the end of the week, the judge will read the submissions and choose a winner. That winner then becomes the judge, meaning they provide the next prompt and choose the next winner from the submissions. It's meant to be kind of a rest week as a prize for winning, but I do think that pretty much everyone agrees that thinking of a good prompt and choosing a winner is, way harder. Anyway, I mentioned that this has been going on for several years now, and unsurprisingly, the group has grown since the beginning. It started with just 3 of us switching off, and has since grown to the point where we actually have 2 groups with 4 people each. In this case, the basic setup is the same, except in order to shuffle the groups every week, the winner will prompt for the other group, and the judge will drop down into the group they prompted, which you don't have to keep track of. It just means that we're writing against different people all the time. So here's what's going to be happening in the podcast. Each week, we're going to release 2 episodes. The first, midweek episode, will be starting chronologically from the beginning of the Scorch. The second, weekend episode, will be from a more recent Scorch. We're starting from week 215A, since this will be after we split into 2 groups, and going from there. This is because, as I stated, people have joined since the start, and we want the more recent additions to not have to wait 5 years to get to share a story. So, that's the first week of our current group. In these episodes, the winner of that week will remind you of the prompt, read their Scorch, give any extra information that they want to, and then tell you the prompt for the next time. The judge also has the opportunity, if they desire, to add comments after the Scorch has been read, containing their thoughts and why they chose that as a winner over the others and such. I'm not sure how often people will actually opt into doing this, but it is an option, so it'll happen sometimes. But this does mean that you are only getting the winning Scorch. Keep in mind that we didn't start the Scorch for the purpose of recording it, so sometimes for differing reasons, people will decline to share their Scorch. If they're the winner for that week, then we'll choose a runner-up to read theirs on the podcast instead, so you will still get a story for that week. And the judging is definitely, it's done by us, and we don't have any rules for it. It's literally just whatever the judge wants, right? So sometimes it's just about hitting the judge's funny button with a smattering of bro puns, even though another Scorch had an interesting thought-out story. I mostly think it's just funny, but Rev apologizes whenever this comes up, and that's even funnier, so I bring it up a lot. Anyway, the point is that on the podcast, you're only getting the winners, even though the losing Scorches are also really good, worthwhile reads. But I do have good news about that. We are planning on setting up a Patreon, where we'll put the losing Scorches for your listening pleasure. The Patreon, by the way, will also have other bonus episodes and content as we think of it, so look forward to that. So if you're interested in it, we'd love to hear from you, because our collective, seasonal depression would benefit from some motivation. This is the first official production of Stella Corps, which is what we've decided to call our little group. If you think we're a delightful bunch and would like to see us interact more amongst ourselves, you can check out our YouTube channel, also called Stella Corps, where we will be putting up some of our other nonsense projects. There isn't any extra Cellblock Scorch content on there. All the extra content will be on the Patreon, but the YouTube will have the podcast episodes and also other things we do like Otome game playthroughs and other fandom things. So if you're interested, feel free to check it out. Thanks for listening, and welcome to the Cellblock Scorch.